Hey everybody, so this is the answer key to the multiplying radicals homework that you got, which you were supposed to do the odds and number 20. I had to do a Jamboard, so we're going to get started here, and I've already worked it all out. Remember when you're multiplying radicals, you multiply the outside term, so 4, and this would be a 1, and you multiply the radicands together. 6 times 15 makes 90. Then you look at the radicand and see if you can break it down. And 90 can be broken into 9 times 10, 9 being that golden perfect squared number that we're looking for. So when I take the square root of 9, I get 3. So then I would take 4 times 3, and square root of 10 cannot be broken down any farther. And our answer is 12 square root 10. Okay, again, it is a multiplication problem, so I'm going to multiply what I would term as the coefficients, 2 and negative 4, and I'm going to do the radicands, 20 times 35, which was 700. I'm going to get negative 8, and I can have 100 times 7. There's my perfect square number, so I can take square root and get a 10 out. Answer for 3 is negative 80 root 7. Number 5, I'm going to take 8 times 6 for 48, k times k for k squared. 16 is a perfect factor. That is times 3, then that makes a 48. Square root of 16 is 4. When I have a even power, and I'm taking the square root, I just take 2 divided by 2, and the k just comes out. So 4k root 3 is the answer here. Number 7, 14 times 6 is 84. R squared times r to the 7th is r to the 9th. I'm going to take and factor the 4 times 21 to make 84, and I'm going to take one of these r's away and leave r to the 8th and make that a multiplication problem. I underline the 2 perfect square root items that can be pulled out of the radical sign. 2 comes from the square root of 4, and r to the 4th comes from the square root of 8, and the 21r are left inside the radical sign. So 2r to the 4th root 21r. Number 9, again, I'm going to multiply first. 3 times 5 makes the 15. 6 times 3 makes the 18. Factor out. Pull those perfect square numbers out of the radical, and then finish it off by multiplying. And let's see, I get 35 minus 45 root 2. Oh, this should be a root 2. This should be a 35 root 2 minus 45 root 2. I forgot to write that in, so I apologize. And 35 minus 45 makes negative 10 root 2. So little error here. Just keep that in mind. That should be 35 root 2. I forgot to write the root 2 in. All right, next page. Okay, now we're looking at, it's going to let me do the next page, I hope. All right, so here we have a distributive property situation. So we are going to take the square root 6 times square root 6, which is square root 36, and I'm going to take square root 6 times square root 10, which is square root 60. Factor out what you can. That's a perfect square, so 6 comes out. 4 times 15, square root of 4 is 2. So 6 plus 2 root 15. And I've kind of said on this little post-it what you need to do. This one's a little more complicated. You can take the 4 times the 3 and make 12 root 5. That's from this multiplication right here. And then you're going to take 4 and then leave that on the outside and do the 5 times 10 to make root 50. Again, break it down. This would be 4 times 5 because square root of 25 is 5. 4 times 5 is 20. So 12 root 5 plus 20 root 2. 15 is going to be FOIL basically, or double distributive. So 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times negative root 3 is negative 2 root 3. 8 times root 3 is 8 root 3. And root 3 times root 3 is minus the square root of 9. Pull out your perfect square numbers. I can put 16 and minus 3 together to make 13 plus 6 root 3. Okay, on the next one, again, it is double distributive. So pull out your items from each after you multiply. Collect your like terms if you can. Here we could put 2 root 5 together with a 30 root 5, which is 32 root 5. You can pull out a 5 from square root of 25. Put it all together, you get 56 plus 32 root 5. I didn't draw a picture here because I was limited on space, but I definitely would draw a picture and put the side as 8 minus root 10. You know, when you find the area of a square, you're going to take side times side. Again, we're foiling, so you FOIL it all out, pull out your perfect square numbers, collect your like terms, and you should have 74 minus 16 root 10. And I put inches squared on because we are finding an area. When you're using the Schoology checks and that kind of thing, I'll just include the label for you so you won't have to worry about it. All right, last but not least, we have a rectangle, and we are supposed to write the area of this rectangle, the expression that we can get for that in simplest radical form. So again, I'm taking the width, 2 root 5x, times the length, which is this expression in the parentheses, distribute, and I get 2, and this 5 times 2 is 10, x times x is x squared. So 2 root 10x squared plus, the 2 stays on the outside, 75x squared. Break it down, pull out what you can, and simplify, and you get 2x root 10 plus 10x root 3, and that would be units squared. All right, I hope this helped. If you still have questions, please see me for a homework help. All right, later, Gators.